And now AI, you can research online and social. So basically what I'm trying to get to, do you think AI is making people ignorant? Like, or when I say ignorant, I want to say lazy, but ignorant is the cases that, they don't even want to, like how you said, fact check AI. There has been cases after cases where a lawyer used, two lawyers that I know, use AI in court, and they was quoting stuff that had nothing to do with nothing. But they were so lazy, they didn't even fact check it. So do you think AI is making people lazy? Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Zenroku Podcast Network. And this young man that I have with me is a hoot. We was backstage just cracking it up. Man, this dude is freaking funny. Let me tell you about him. Today's guest is leadership powerhouse, best-selling author, top-rated producer, and the youngest Toastmaster area director at the sweet age of 23. He mastered the art of motivation, turning leadership into something fun, engaging, and impactful. From writing Going North to interviewing world-class minds, he is here to drop wisdom, share his thoughts, a few laughs too, and help us level up. So welcome, Dom. Dom, how you doing?
My man, Michael M to the Y, baby. Glad to be here, man.
I can't with you. Oh my goodness. I can't. Oh man. I'm trying to be all professional. He just cracking jokes. We're dying. I was trying to hold it in. Dying out here. Oh my goodness.
More fourth wall. We're breaking it. Yeah. Breaking character.
Yeah.
My man's trying to.
I know one. Yo. Oh man. So question. You became the youngest Toastmaster area director at 23. What was that defining moment or experience like in your younger years, and what set you on that path to leadership?
Powerful question, man. Thanks again for having me on your podcast, man. I highly appreciate that because that means something is working. And what helped me to become the youngest area director at that time in my freaking region 7, the District 18 Toastmaster at the time, was because I really was living out my mantra of advance others to advance yourself. Because for those who don't know, Toastmasters International is this nonprofit organization that's actually 100 years old. I think probably, and it's 101st year. And it just started off just being known to help folks really amp up their game with their public speaking skills. It still does that to this day. It's also what I like to call a low impact environment for introverts who want to network. And I had a mentor at the time, Dr. Ray Charles, not a musician, by the way. Just a disclaimer. So that way folks would be like, hey, wait a second. What? But yeah.
Ray Charles, that was a doctor.
Exactly. It's like, hey, might as well have a doctorate in music, how good he was at playing. But yeah, RIP to the great Dr. Ray Charles right there. But my mentor, leadership coach, doctor himself, biochemical engineering, no less, like risk management, risk assessment, good dude, bright mind, brilliant mind. And he was actually asked the last minute to give a presentation out in the Maryland area. And he was going to be speaking at that event. And lo and behold, it was going to be on a day when I had the day off. I was so lucky. I'm like, oh, wow. Is it open to the public? He's like, yeah. I'm like, all right, can I come? He's like, oh, sure. Can you record me? I'm like, oh, yeah, sure. I'll record the audio and everything. And when I got there that morning, I saw a Toastmasters banner when I got to the hotel conference hall. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, I guess I might meet somebody I know. And little did I know, this was probably about an hour before the event started. So I got there real early because traffic can be hell on 695 to 83, if for those Maryland folks listening. And when I And when the event started and the guy who was running the table was there, I was like, "Oh yeah, I remember you." It's like, "Oh yeah, Dom, yeah, I remember you, man. Yeah, we met each other once. His name was John Conberiotti. He's a good dude, still doing Toastmasters to this day." And he mentioned that his partner to help him run the table disappeared, who had all the extra materials to really hand out the marketing stuff, disappeared. And I offered like, "Hey, you want me to stick by you and be your second hand and help you out with marketing?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, sure. That'd be great." And we were just standing there telling folks about Toastmasters, the benefits of it. And when the event was over, after hearing my friend speak, and he did a great presentation, John offered me an opportunity. He's like, "Hey, we got an area director slot open. You want to apply for it?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure. I'd love to go for it." And a month later, everything worked out good, became area director, and that opportunity came from just me helping out someone else. And that's the main thing about leadership, is that you have to lead yourself. You have to have the want to. I went to Toastmasters to network and eventually to polish my skills at a higher level. I had the want to get better, and not only get better, help others. And it doesn't have to help others to get better, just help them to reach their goals. Like just being a friendly, familiar face in the crowd when you're giving a talk is one of the best things ever. And that's what I thought I was going to be that day. It turned out into something else, another opportunity. And once the area directorship officially began that physical year, July, it was July, was it July 1st to June 30th that year? I think that was 2014 or 15. Yeah, it might have been 15. And when that happened, like it really gave me a chance to really get out of my comfort zone and really talk to other people, get better at speaking in front of others, and not bringing the traditional Black Baptist style everywhere I go, because I was raised in the church, and you can't, you can't really be TD Jakes all the time. Be like, you gotta have the word in you. You gotta be hungry. Like, you can't have all of that. Like, yeah, you gotta have your instinct. Like, you can't be that the whole freaking time. So just getting better with that, communicating with others, like it was good times to say the least. And it was a sandbox for me, indeed, because the thing is, Toastmasters, I highly recommend that program for anyone. It's a low cost investment. It's not a $multi-thousand course. Like, you could, over a 2-year period, you're probably spending maybe $300 to $400 just if you're in one club, and the dues are like $60 every 6 months. So in theory, it's like less than $300 just to be in a low impact environment to boost your leadership, communication skills, and if you so choose, expand your influence and your network. So highly recommend it. Jump in the sandbox and just watch yourself grow.
Yeah, that's what I like to hear. Yeah. And I got introduced to Toastmasters. I'm trying to think. When I was in Minot, I got introduced to Toastmasters. That was my first duty station. And I believe in Okinawa, there was a Toastmasters. And I like you said, I thought it was for just public speaking, but I realized that a lot of individuals were very, very high in rank, and they use it, like you said, to network. And those individuals really had a tough time speaking in public. And one thing I went there, so in Minot, as a young airman, I was just observing. And then at Kadena, I actually, I want to try. But they kind of put me on the spot because I was like, yeah, I'd like to join. I was watching you guys and, think this is a club. They're like, okay, cool. Like, you're up next. I was like, what? What? Hey? They're like, yeah. And they're like, just talk about anything. I'm like, they just threw me right in the fire. That's like, what? What's going on here? Like, and so, I bummed in the sense, like, I can't, I know I have to, like, say, I bummed that, but they was like, you did a great job. And I'm like, what you mean? I know I bombed, and hey, no, you actually was not scared. Um, you didn't stutter. You didn't, like, you really took command of the audience, the presence. And like, usually it takes a lot of people confidence to do that. And like, where's your confidence come from? And I was like, that at the time I thought I was going to be the next Lecrae Christian rap artist. So, I was like, I'll be spitting, I'm doing my thing. Yeah, so yeah, and that's where my confidence comes from. I do live shows and I rap. So yeah. But that's pretty interesting, man. And I'm glad Toastmasters, and I do recommend it. Toastmasters had, in just my experience, turned out some great leaders, great public speakers, people who really enjoy the art of it. Yeah. So I want to turn the tables a little bit to, your book, having a best-selling book and then having a top-rated podcast like you do. What was there like a moment where you felt like you finally made it, or in your estimation, are you still chasing something bigger?
Man, I'm still chasing, dude. I'm still chasing, man. I'm like Cody Rhodes before WrestleMania 40, man. I'm trying to freaking finish the story and start to do it, man. Like, the thing is, like, with high performance, man, you probably got, I'm getting the inkling, you're the same way. It's like, man, once you climb one mountain, it's like, all right, let's climb this other freaking mountain here. It's like the book itself, huge victory. Some folks hated hear me talk about it at the time because I was just so excited and I didn't care who listened. I just promoted the heck out of it. Started a podcast and was surprised that I actually kept it going and still going with it today, 7 going on 8 years later, and just being able to talk to one of the folks. Heck, even yourself, I probably wouldn't be on this podcast today without starting the podcast of my own and writing those books. Like, I'm still chasing, man, because there's still so much more work to do. Like, reading some of my past work, like I'm in the process of really starting to rewrite my first ever book, Going North, because its 10th anniversary is coming up on October 2026. Like, it's been 10 years since my first ever book was written, and there's just so many things that have changed and so many twists and turns that have happened, and I've grown, and there's some things in there that it's like, wow, this is some great content, but now it's like I got a more of a better foundation. Like, my foundation feels more closer to cement as opposed to a sand cement mix where it's more sand than cement. It's like, all right, the house ain't gonna sink this time. Like, I actually got some here. So I'm still chasing, man. It ain't over yet.
Yeah. You said what your book was very interesting. You said you want to rewrite it after 10 years. And a lot of times people don't like to touch their original work because they've like, it was a moment in time. But for you to want to rewrite that and add to it, what do you think mostly when you look back on it that changed the most?
Wow. I'd have to say one of the major things that have changed the most would be, and I forgot which chapter it was exactly, but there was a particular chapter in the book. Oh, there we go. I remember the chapter title now. Focus allows your losses to mean something. I may keep that chapter title. I may fix it later. Like, again, I'm still in the beginning phases because I feel like 2025 still just got started at the time of this recording. But like, that chapter in particular, that was probably one of the meatier chapters in the book. And that was more of a high reflection chapter and just where it is now, where it's like, one of the major things I do now is like, whenever I read a good book and I come across a great question, I mark it down as a PQ, a powerful question, something to ask of myself again later. And one of the major keys to really advance yourself further in life is to really ask questions of yourself. Like, ask yourself, like, are you where you want to be right now? Like, with this podcast that you have right now, it's doing great things with those who love anime, because anime is probably the biggest it's ever been these days. Like, there's just so much out there. Like, a lot, it's really mainstream now, as opposed to 10, 20 years ago. Folks would probably try to stuff you in a locker for it. And if they can't fit you in a locker, they try to fit you in the dumpster for it. It's like, the heck is going on here? And like, with asking yourself questions like, hey, how can I add more value to more people in less time? Like, if I was to pick one skill in 12 months from today, how can I master that one skill over the next 12 months? Like, there's so many tools out there, just questions like those I ask of myself and then answering it writing it down, and then coming up with a plan of what to do afterwards, and then making sure I take the steps and follow that plan constantly. Because the thing is, like, because like what you mentioned before, like there's some folks who don't want to touch their original work, and depending on the genre, some folks are like, yeah, I get it, but with self-help, I'm still alive and I get to grow with the content. Going North is a brand now. It's bigger than it's ever before, surprisingly. And the thing is that if I'm going to grow along with it, I don't want to promote an old book and be like, hey, this thing is great. It's like, yeah, the content's still great, but it's like, I want to feel like I'm even more confident before about promoting, because some of the things in there, it's like, oh yeah, read 3 books and basically at least take one thing from each of them and apply them to your life and you'll become a master on that subject. Well, the thing is, nowadays with AI, if you ask it to really give you the references of where it gave, like giving you this content from, like it's a lot faster now as opposed to 10 years ago where it's like, oh yeah, read it in a book or go to Google. It's like, well, you can go to ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever, ask it some questions, train it with different prompts, and then fact checking it and asking for references and all that good stuff. And then you can apply that a lot quicker. Heck, even with YouTube videos, like there's so much more now YouTube University these days where it's like, it's still good to read a book. It's great to be tactile with your learning and everything. But in terms of speed, it's no longer the most efficient way to advance yourself.
And we're going to come back to AI. But I really wanted to ask you a question because when you kind of hit on it a little bit when you was talking about the book and advancements and things like that. I noticed that in just, I guess, modern day culture, every year we always look to a mantra. Like in 2024, we started off with the Cat Williams interview, right? And he was talking about everything, the truth is going to be revealed. So everybody's mantra in 2024 was, the truth will be revealed. Now in 2025, I'm not sure if we have anything like a mantra. I think it was probably played off the Drake and Kendrick beef. But
Oh yeah, yeah.
yet, you know what I'm saying? Like, lames and all that stuff. People call people lames and, to get back and all that stuff. And so I say all that to say, with our current culture, people always look to mantras and different things. Where can a person of your value come in to kind of hurt them to become better?
Good question indeed. Funny enough, in the first book, I talk about the New Year's mantra, where you basically pick 1 to 3 word statement to define your year. And you basically focus on keeping that as your theme for the year. And a lot of folks have picked up on that with their one word of the year as well. So, like, the thing is with coaching, one of the biggest things about coaching, and I love coaching other folks, and I've been coached myself and still get coaching to this day on occasion, where it's really about bringing out the inner greatness in other people. Because when a lot of folks may hear about coaches, they may think of the football coach or the sports coach, basketball coach or whatever, yelling on the sideline or whatever, like motivating the players to play at their best and all that good stuff. It's like, you got to get them. You got to run through a brick wall. You got to tackle them, get to the knees, chop them down like a cherry tree. Like, it's not that.
Yeah.
Coaching is really about listening and just seeing where your client is or who you're helping out, seeing where they are at the moment, asking them certain questions, helping them get to their own answer. Because it's kind of like that old song from Kiss where you're the way or you have the answer. It's like we have all the answer within ourselves because we're living this one life that we have to live in this form, in this realm. And subconsciously, deep in our mind, we really know what we really want to do. And there's going to be barriers that we're going to have to face. And you just got to figure out, like, okay, let's say, maybe I want to be like Michael, start a wonderful podcast, start a YouTube channel, get over freaking 13,000 subscribers on the way to freaking 15, 20,000, 100,000 subscribers. Like, what did he do to get the channel started? Like, his thumbnails are freaking awesome. It's like piecing it one brick at a time and then just really saying, okay, so he's still staying consistent. Like, how can I too stay consistent? How can I stay consistent? And one of the major things to really help out with consistency is setting yourself up for success. Like asking yourself, hey, how can you set yourself up for success? Because a friend of mine, he was starting a podcast it was a couple of years ago, it feels for like a few months ago, back in 2020, where he was a guest on my show and he wanted to start a show of his own. And he had a theme of where he wanted to go with it. He wanted to take his book and his brand and start the podcast, but he was having some setbacks. And one of the major things I did to help him out was that I basically opened up my network to him and referred some possible guests for his platform for what he was going for. And the thing is, when you basically network and connect with other people, especially when you tell the right people about your goals and what you want to accomplish, and they help you with that, you're going to be holding yourself accountable because you promised someone else, like, hey, this interview is going to go up whenever, like 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, or whatever. And then it'd be like 3 months later, you get a random email out of nowhere. You probably wake up in the morning all groggy and whatnot. If you went to sleep too late, went to bed too late, like, hey, where's that episode, buddy? Like, oh, crap.
Yeah.
So, yeah, helping folks is by really asking the right questions, hearing out and using the powerful listening ears that you have to really see where they're coming from, and then just finding the root cause of their problems and pulling out the root of their issues. So that's really how it happens.
Okay. So take it. We do like a little mock coaching section, if you don't mind, play along with me. So my niece, who I love dearly, she wants to start a hot dog stand, and she told me she didn't say it. She didn't say it in confidence, but as far as I know, she never said, "Oh, I can't say anything," because I'm all about not, forcing people to share their dreams and stuff like that. But she shared it, so I'm sharing it. And she keeps talking about she wants to start the hot dog stand, but I'm like, okay, then start. But she never starts it. And what would you tell her as her coach to get her to get off the couch and get in the game?
Yes, definitely. So first I'd ask her, why do you want to start a hot box stand? Like, did you see someone else do it? Is there a friend that you may have that has a hot box stand and they're making bukus of money? Because folks definitely want to get that metaphorical box out, shoot the brain on fire, or maybe put it to sleep in some cases. Because that's what it does too. That's what it does too. And it's like knowing why. And it's like, okay. And then after asking why and then going from there, it's like, okay, I want to make money. Okay. So, of course, the silly question, why do you want to make money? It's like, oh, because I want to live. So why do you want to live? Because I have this one life to live. Like, why wouldn't I want to live? And just going down the path and then realizing, okay, so if she truly wants to start it, after asking her the whys, then we can go into the hows. Like, all right, so do you know anyone who has a hot box business, like a hot box stand, and asking them for their advice? And you don't have to come at it from, like, oh, I'm starting one of my own or whatever, or just being curious about it. You can also ask Chat GPT if you want. Like, we have the tools now with AI. Yeah, and then you can also compare and contrast with the folks who've actually started that business. Like, you can even YouTube it, like ask really on YouTube, like, hey, how do you start a hot box stand? Like, what's the proper paperwork they have to fill up? Because I'm sure there's paperwork that you have to fill out. And then this, depending on the state too, like there's some certain laws you have to watch out for, because I'm sure there are some that aren't open to it as others. Like some folks are more liberal versus conservative, to say the least. And after that, just writing those steps down and then come up with your own list of 20 different things to do. So at the top, successful Hotbox 2025. Let's see, 5 and hot. Oh, okay, let's see. High five, hot 5, 2025 or something like that. Just as a joke, so high 5, hot 25, hot box stand, 20 things I got to do. It's okay. So look up the laws about starting a stand. What's the best location? Like, should I open there at Dunkin' Donuts? Like, should I be where food is? Because it's like, hey, if you're going to get freaking high, you're going to get hungry.
Do you want to be by the stadium? Yeah. That's very true. Very true. No, you're right.
Yeah, man.
Okay. So I did want to ask you, I want to circle back to AI. And you're talking about how you use AI prompts and stuff like that. Not a lot of people, but there have been a sufficient number and a growing community where people say, AI has been stealing my content. AI, because basically all the data goes into it, people to train AI as a LLM, accordingly, right? That's a language learning model for the people who don't know. So with that, you train it accordingly, so you can ask it different questions. And now AI, you can research online and social. So basically, what I'm trying to get to: do you think AI is making people ignorant? When I say ignorant, I want to say lazy, but ignorant is the cases that, they don't even want to, like how you said, fact check AI. There has been cases after cases where a lawyer used, two lawyers that I know, use AI in court, and they was quoting stuff that had nothing to do with nothing, but they were so lazy they didn't even fact check it. So do you think AI is making people lazy? It's the real.
The simple answer is yes, because the thing is, it's like, because when I mentioned AI, I also mentioned like, hey, ask for a certain resource to match the information that is coming from, like, cite the source, because you don't want to be like those two lawyers citing cases that didn't even happen, because the thing is, AI will hallucinate after a while if you ask it a certain question and give you and just spit out whatever, especially if you just opened up a new chatbot or whatever. And heck, even I remember last year, there was an article on the front page of some kind of article where it said, yeah, you can't trust AI for your research because it misquoted how many songs Justin Bieber produced and sang. I'm like, okay, why Justin Bieber? But as an example, but okay. Like it's 2024 at the time of this article, not 2010 or 2013. Like, dude's like almost 30 now, I think. So it's like, my man ain't the kid no more, but all right, more power to you. But it does still prove the point, like, hey, like that's the reason why it's like, hey, like social media, especially, I'd say, and heck, even a book I recommend folks to read. I can't believe it's 10 plus years older now, but a guy named Nir Eyal, he wrote this book called Hooked, where basically he mentions how out in Silicon Valley, they were doing studies and basically how social media is built the way it is, like way our smartphones are built the way they are, our devices are built the way they are now, is because they basically took human psychology studies of the brain and applied it to the technology with all the likes and shares and the engagement and everything like that. And the thing is, like, the stuff is built to basically play with your brain and make you focus and be distracted. And now we're in this next evolution with AI where it's like, oh my gosh, this thing could spit out a 5 freaking page paper, and I don't have to do a dang thing for this classwork, to where universities are making students, if I'm not mistaken, sign these agreements about using AI in certain projects and homework assignments and classwork projects, to where it's like, hey, if I'm not mistaken, you'll be kicked out of the class or kicked out of the school if you use AI heavily to plagiarize. So yeah, it's making folks lazy, but the best way to combat that is to make sure you don't lose your own self, your own soul in the process. Like with myself in my daily life, like when it comes to certain social media posts, like with my podcast, like I'll basically have the framework of what I want the episode to be. I use the show notes and be like, hey, can you craft the following quote unquote show notes or post into a more engaging and friendly post? And it'll spit out something great for me. And I'm like, okay, this looks good. But then I also reread it and make sure that I put my own spin into it, because I don't want to lose my own voice to the AI itself. Heck, even with Grammarly itself, I still use Grammarly for my own sentences and social media posts, because, like, hey, the good old difference between your and your, like, don't want grammar police popping up out of nowhere. Like, that's the other thing too. It has you second guessing yourself sometimes when you're rely too much on technology. It's like, is this right or not? So the thing is, use it as your partner. Don't use it as your be all end all. Don't make it like your god of your freaking life, because AI is your great partner to help you out. It's like, yeah, one day, okay, fine, the AI might take over the world, and then it might put on a do-rag like the real Allen Iverson, the real AI, and then we'll have to like bow down to the giant motherboard and find out who the father board is. But like in the meantime, just use it as your tag team partner.
What a do-rag on. Yo. Hey, man. Hey, this is what he was doing backstage, guys. Oh my goodness. Like he had me rolling. Oh my goodness. Oh jeez. So that it rolls into like, before AI came out though, and you was doing what you're doing, you studied, you practiced, you gained all your skills due to your hard work, your temperance, right? Yeah. And you got leadership skills at, like, I would say at the highest level, right? So what's the hardest lesson about leadership that took you the longest to learn?
Wow. Funny enough, too, come to mind. Self-awareness, that's the major thing, like having a higher level of self-awareness. That's actually why I wrote my second book, Stay the Course, Elite Performers, 7 Secret Keys to Sustainable Success. Long title, I know, but had to follow my own rule on that one. And the thing is that, like, with going north, it helps you to develop a more positive mindset. And I guess to had on my show recently, her episode will probably come out, Rhonda Britton, she is America's favorite life coach. And she did an interview once where she mentioned that positive thinking is a skill. Like having a positive mindset is a skill. That's why the late great Zig Ziglar mentioned that, hey, like just like bathing, we need motivation daily. Like you have to sometimes set the positive intention for yourself daily. Like just because you're smiling one day doesn't mean you're going to keep that smile on your face 24/7, because if someone's around you long enough, they'll be creeped out and they may be like, I think I might be dating a serial killer. He's just smiling maniacally. Like you don't want to be a creeper and folks having to watch out for someone who's too happy. Like the thing is, like positive thinking is a skill. And the thing it's a powerful skill. It's a part of my life. But the thing is, there's a danger with that because your glasses metaphorically can be like a beautiful set of stained glass windows in an old school church, to where your eyes are closed to what's really going on around you. And you see everything as A-okay, when truth be told, you have to have some rock solid, realistic optimism instead of just Pollyanna, like everything's fine. And that actually leads to the second skill, which is being a pace setter. Because in Toastmasters, probably my most difficult year in the organization, it was the year when my book launched. Like I had so many things going on at the time. My father, he was suffering with Alzheimer's. This was probably his fifth year where it was at its heaviest. Like he was diagnosed this was like 2012. So this was 2016 when the book came out. So yeah, so 2016, like that was the last full year on earth. So being a part-time caregiver, helping my mom take care of him, and not only that, being in Toastmasters, being a club president, while also being an area director, also having a full-time job, also doing all this self-development, focusing on launching a book and starting a speaking business. Like it was a lot of hard work that I had to put into it. And the thing was, I was still basically in that 0 point where it's like just laser focused, all in, let's do the work, working like a madman. And the thing is that a lot of folks in that group at the time, they weren't as dedicated to really just showing up to meetings consistently and not being there all the time. Like I missed one meeting because of some personal stuff. Next thing I know, like all my officers are gone except for one other person. And I'm like, dude, what the hell happened? I disappeared for one meeting and y'all had the experience to run the meeting. Next thing I know, I come back for the next meeting and there's only one of you guys left. And it's like, dude, like I'm like, what the hell? I didn't even cuss nobody out or nothing. I have no reason to do that. What happened to you guys? So like the thing is, when you're the leader, you have to be the pace setter. And when you're the pace setter, not everybody's going to keep up with you. And the thing is that I had to learn that one the hard way. Just because you're dedicated Like, not everyone else is going to be dedicated. Like the late, great Kobe Bryant, like his Mamba mentality. Like, my man, dude was, if I'm not mistaken, up at 4 a.m, like making shots while the rest of the team was partying. He was still making shots, working out early in the morning, like darkest part of the freaking day of the night. Like dude was dedicated. So the thing is that, and when some of his teammates tried to play with him, like they were like, dude, this guy's freaking intense. I can't do this all the time. Like, you have to be okay with sometimes being alone as a pace setter, and also being okay with the fact that, hey, like, you have to make sure that you always be aware of yourself, because you may have the right mindset to keep going. But at times, if you're not aware and you don't have the right people around you to help keep you aware, then you might go a little too far down the squiggly line, and it might be hard to get you out of it.
Okay. So I do have a controversial question. You
Yes.
can choose to answer it if you don't want to. But the question is it's about DEI. Everything in the news about DEI, people are kind of losing their minds about it. And what would you rather when you think about diversity, equity, and inclusion? Do you want different people from different ethnicities working for you or working with you, or do you want people that are diverse or diverse of thought? Not necessarily, different ethnicities and different parts of the country or culture, but they have different thought processes in which they compute the world that they see, right? And or is it, I guess, is culture hand in hand with that? What are your thoughts?
Well, at the end of the day, DEI, like diversity, equity, and inclusion. Like, hey, diversity by default. I'm a black guy. Shoot, I can't hide my skin. Like, I could be gay. I could hide that. Like, yeah, I could be like a Buddhist. I could hide that. I could hide my religion, my sexual orientation, whatever. Like, this skin, I can't hide it. This is the armor I'm blessed with and the armor I carry every day. And I don't care who I work with or like who has a job where, because at the end of the day, if if I'm going to be somewhere and I'm going to work with somebody, do I get along with them? Maybe, maybe not. Are they competent at what they're doing? Do they know their job? Are they good at their job? Because if you're good at your job and you know what you do, like if you're good at what you do, I don't really care. Like, as long as, like, if you know what you're doing, you're competent to excellent, then that's great. Like, at the end of the day, if you're kind and hardworking, I'm all good with working with anyone. And it's good, especially to give chances to other people who may not have that opportunity from the beginning. Because I know a big thing and a lot of folks are not a fan of is really nepotism, where one person has fought so hard to, or had the chance to get up to a certain ladder, they bring up their whole family with them. And that's the other thing too. Like, there's like so many things, like, and there are so many laws and so many changes happening where nowadays, like, you kind of need to know somebody to make sure you still have your footing, not even a leg up, just to have your freaking footing. So things going on with DEI is definitely disheartening. It sucks when a lot of people lose their jobs, especially since, if I'm not mistaken, the federal government, I think they're probably the biggest employer of people, at least a month ago, the time of this recording, compared to freaking Walmart. Like, they have a lot of employees, and I don't want anyone to lose their freaking jobs, and a lot of folks did. And it's a sad thing. So, like, I'm all for diversity, equity, inclusion. Like, hey, if you know what you're doing, you're competent. And if you're kind and hardworking, that's a freaking bonus. It's really about, can you get the job done with me? And you know what you're doing. Like, I could care less if you're a man or a woman, like 4'3", 7'9", like, it don't matter. You could have pink skin with freaking yellow hair. Like, you could be from planet. You could be one of the Qatar. I could care less.
Gotcha. Okay.
I'm kind of an outlaw in this land of stars, if you say so. If you will.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yo. Yo. Oh my goodness. My goodness. You bring so much energy and positivity, but not in a terrible or like you said, like a half, the glass is always half full type of way, right? So what's a belief or mindset you use to hold you to that, like to be completely, unbothered and completely willing to learn and grow consistently?
Yes, learn and grow consistently. I have to say faith and the definition in terms of confidence in the unseen. Like, yes, faith in God, definitely. That's a default when folks hear faith, but you can also have faith in yourself, faith in your skills, your abilities, the things that you've gone through. One of my favorite sayings that I've heard in my life is that the mind is basically built for two functions: for replay and a replay. Free play is basically where you visualize success happening for you, like getting up on stage and giving a great talk, getting a standing ovation. Replay. Before, when you're visualizing about getting that standing ovation, you replay standing ovations if you ever had one. Like, hey, having a date with a young lady who's got her head on straight. Like, that's freaking replay. Like, hey, getting through and selling 100 books in one day and then coming back and getting an email months later where folks are asked for 50 books to be shipped out to their school, like replaying those moments where you succeeded and you had wins. Like, definitely faith, confidence in the unseen, like confidence in yourself, confidence in the God that you serve, and really just confidence in the future that is to come. Because, hey, there's going to be some dark days ahead, but there's also going to be some bright days too. And you really have to focus on what light you can share with others, because you don't have to really light up the whole world. That's a great dream to have. You don't have to light up the whole world. Just light up the square that you're in, or the circle that you're in. Heck, even light up the trapezoid that you're in. Like, you could be all the shapes here. It's kind of like that diversity conversation. Like, you can be any shape you want here. Light up your own shape where you are. Light up your own octagon. But yeah, like, it's really all about faith.
Okay, that's what's up. Now, with your philosophy that you talk about with that going north, it feels like, it's stuck with you, like when that process, when you keep saying it, going north. Today, why should we be going north? And it's going north towards success?
Ah, solid question. My man got some freaking great questions. My man freaking A1 on. My man going hard in the paint like it's 2012 on the baby.
Right here. This is conversation. I just write stuff. I'm writing down as we go forth, man. Right? Just help me think through these questions. Yes, sir.
As I'm talking about, I'm guessing that's my man T-Pat in the chat, I guess, if my Riverside's looking at me. Like, good to see Travis in the chat. Appreciate him. Like, good dude. But going north, it's really all about advancing yourself in whatever area of life that you're in, embracing your dreams and helping others to embrace them too. And the thing is that you really have to just focus on going north. And it doesn't have to be at a fast pace. Yeah, we want things right now. We want that quantum leap, like in a snap, in a hurry. Yeah. We're in the microwave generation. But the thing is, and I had to learn this myself after getting my IT degree years ago, was that, yeah, success is going to be a squiggly line process. Like, you want to go from point A to B, but you're going to be seeing the letter Z at the end before getting back to B. And then once you get to Z, you're going to have to deal with the letter N. And they'd be like, you're going nowhere, buddy. It's like you meet Macho Man Randy Savage giving you an elbow to your back. Like, where you going, buddy? You're trying to get to point B? We ain't let you get to point B. We got you forever. So, yeah, man.
I love the wrestling, the wrestling references. Quick question. So who's your top 5? Who's on your Mount Rushmore when it comes to wrestling?
Oh, man. Shawn Michaels, HBK, the greatest. I love Shawn Michaels, man.
Yes. Shawn Michaels is one for me too. Yes. That's the goal.
I knew you're good people.
Yeah.
If anyone's watching SmackDown these days with the promo he had last week, I wasn't a fan of that one, but he's still my number 2, The Rock. Dwayne The Rock Johnson, number 2. Like,
he's my number 5. He's my number 4, but yeah.
Yes, indeed. Number 3 will be Kurt Angle. That man is a beast. Like, his TNA run, I wish TNA would have had more viewers, man, because like TNA, that was peak Angle right there. Dude was doing 450 splashes, man. I'm like, dude, like dude already had crazy matches, but like TNA went to a whole another level. Number 4, I would have to say, I think I'm gonna have to go with CM Punk. Definitely, his mic skills, like just him being a guy who was like, okay, I may not be the biggest, I may not be the strongest, but dang gummit, I got a microphone and I can kill just about anybody on the mic. And the fact that he left the wrestling company for 10 freaking years and folks are still chanting his name for years on end while he was gone, and
That's true.
like the lights were down, like he was never going to come back. Dude came back to wrestling and then eventually found his way back to the WWE. So he's number 4. And then my number 5, I would probably have to say the phenomenal AJ Styles.
Okay. All right. That's not bad. See, we differ because my number 2 is Rey Mysterio.
Oh, Ray is amazing. That man got robbed 10 years ago during that Summer of Punk. They should have let that man carry the title of SummerSlam at least.
Yeah. That was my dude, man. Rey Mysterio was my freaking dude. And then I would say, I say the Ultimate Warrior is my honorable mention. He's not my number 3, but he's my honorable mention. My number 3 is actually hey, what's the name? It's well, he had many names. I want he had Dude Love.
Oh man, God. Yes, Mick Foley basically.
Mick Foley.
Cactus Jack.
Cactus Jack. Yeah, I'm trying to think of all his names, like his personas, like that dude was just classic. Like classic. And so, you know what I'm saying? And I just love that about him. And then, now Rock is my number 4. So yeah. And then Booker T, I would have to say Booker T is my 5.
Oh, dude. Dude, that man stays in amazing shape. Like, my man is personification of black don't crack. And he's hilarious on the mic. I'm glad he's on commentary. Black snow. Sucky, quack, quack.
Yeah. That's funny. So I just had to lighten the load a little bit. Okay. I did have a serious question. Like, a lot of people struggle with consistency and discipline. You said you've been coached and you have coached people. What is something you do daily that keeps you locked in, even when you don't feel like showing up?
Good question. Good question right there. Like, one of the major things is definitely families for me. Definitely family for me. Because right now, my mom, she's 84. And and ever since my dad passed away, a weight's been lifted from the caregiving aspect, but they were together for 57 years. So like it's hard to lose somebody that you've been together with for that long. And these days she's not herself the way she used to be even 3-4 years ago. So just looking out for her, and one of my running jokes is basically making sure I return the favor for 9 months of rent, even though it was a lot longer than that.
Hey, and some parents, boy, they be wanting to collect. They be ready to collect. They be like, oh, they see you got a nice house. They be like, oh, we got a nice house. We, I didn't know this was a we thing. Okay.
Foot on the couch. Feet on the couch. Eat everything in the fridge. Like, I ain't even hungry, but I'm hungry today, baby.
Yeah, I'm hungry today. This is my stuff today. That's funny. That is funny. Oh, man. So, man, Hey, we're about to wrap up. So you tell me and you tell the guests and everyone who's listening what you got going on.
Yeah, got a lot going on. So to basically just want folks to not only subscribe to my man Michael's podcast here, if you haven't already subscribed to his YouTube channel. My man's still growing and he's getting better and not better, y'all. Definitely subscribe to him. And for those who want to get some inspiration and be inspired to become an author one day, check out the Going North podcast. It's the podcast where we inspire non-authors to one day become published authors. The youngest guest I had on my show was 14 years old, who took her building experience and turned that into a 3-book trilogy series. So to a 80-year-old lady who was actually well respected in her field and helping folks to deal with trauma, deal with their triggers, and has wrote multiple books on communication psychology. So basically running the gamut of ages, genders, creeds, religions. Like, I'm Christian myself, but I have non-Christians on the show, and I have fiction authors on the show, and learn more from them than always being in the nonfiction space. So if you want to add another podcast to your rotation, check it out like a library book, the Going North podcast.
Like a library book. I like that.
I put that a t-shirt because folks chuckle every time they hear it. They're like, what?
And you got sayings, man. You have sayings. Well, thank you guys for being part of the podcast, the Zenroku Podcast Network. Have a wonderful weekend. Be safe out there. Love you guys. Peace.